Okay, thank you. So a few years ago, I talked here about the work we were doing on bringing OpenStreetMap-based indoor train station maps into Itinerary. And back then I mentioned that this would be something that would potentially be useful for other types of public buildings as well, with the limiting factor being that there are very few public buildings with indoor mapping. However, by pure coincidence, we happen to be in a building that has such mapping. So the obvious thing to do was to put the indoor map renderer into Kongress or Conference Companion app. So if you're using this, at least starting with the latest gear release, and you're selecting a talk, you click on the room in there, it shows you on the map where exactly that talk is going to be. Sounds simple, but there's slightly more to that. First of all, this is based on raw OpenStreetMap data. And there is a few things specific to the event that might not be appropriate to put into OpenStreetMap. Like this room is usually called A007. We call it Talk Room 1. Or there's the registration desk in the hallway, right? That's not something we can put into regular OpenStreetMap data. So what we have for that is we can apply event-specific OpenStreetMap change sets. So it's basically like a diff or a patch on top of the baseline data. And that's how we bring in, for example, our room names. Similar for the styles. So the map renderer uses something called map CSS. So that's like web CSS, just matching to map content rather than document content. And with that, we make our talk rooms blue and our BOF rooms green and show them at a lower zoom level already. And for everything else, right, it cascades to the base style. And we have support for time-dependent content. So if you open the map from this talk, you see talk rooms, but you don't see BOF rooms. If you go to Kevin's training on Monday, open the map from there, you see BOF rooms, but no talk rooms, because we show the map how it looks like at the point of that talk, and that is going to be different between the week and the weekend. Another thing I mentioned in my talk a few years ago is that routing would be something we want to have, but at that time, that seemed to be entirely out of reach because there is, to my knowledge at least, no free software implementation of the necessary polygon-based routing algorithms, at least not in the geospace. A few months ago at the CCC Kongress, we, by pure coincidence, met somebody from Würzburg who pointed us to a library used in 3D game engines, which has all the algorithms we need. That's a bit of a fun translation problem, right? So we think in escalators and tactile paving, and they think in teleporters and lava. But it actually works. So a few months ago, we managed even to get some useful results out of worst case scenarios like the Paris Metro. It, however, has very high requirements on the quality of the mapping, much higher than for the display. And that's also why this is currently disabled in the Kongress version you have. So the routing engine is there, but the event configuration disables this because the staircases here are messed up, making the elevators unreachable. So this is hopefully something we'll be able to fix during the week. But for now, that's still off. And then, of course, I mean, this is all nice and fun, but is this actually useful? Do we need this? For an event like this, probably not. So, I mean, if you're in the hallway, pretty much all relevant rooms you have in line of sight, right? So the map doesn't add that much. If you have ever been to FOSDEM, you might have a different appreciation for a map for a conference. And then in a bit of a different take of the accessibility goal, if you imagine stairs being a problematic obstacle for you, right, having a router that allows you to customize it exactly to your needs might also be a lot more valuable, right? So, and of course, all of this is library code and not specific to Kongress, right? So we're going to use that in Itinerary as well, of course. Yep, that's it.
Thank you.